Oh yeah, there's another thing going on um as well with when I lost my files and I lost a lot of my graphic design stuff that I worked on professionally. Um it I kind of had thoughts of doing something. Uh but then I was kind of like, "Nah, don't waste my time." But now that I lost those files and was like, "Yo, I lost those files. I'm never going to get them back," and I got them back, of course. Um I started thinking, I was like, well, maybe I should follow up with that idea, you know? So, some that I wanted to do, I, since I used to do graphic design professionally or, for other companies and stuff like that, the last company I worked for, I was doing graphic design for vehicle wraps and I did hundreds of designs. And, you know, we had an agreement, a verbal agreement. I have to say that legally now. That I was going to be able to keep a portfolio. And when I created my website and I put my portfolio from that job up, they sent their lawyers at me and said that I couldn't use it. And because it was only a verbal agreement, not there's no paperwork behind it, I just had to kind of eat that up. And the whole thing that they were saying was that it was because it was their clients and it was work for hire, which is all true. It was their clients. I was employed underneath them. So it's just kind of shitty when you have people who say, like, yeah, 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 you get to have a portfolio. And then you put in your 2 weeks after, some years. And you serve out those 2 weeks and everything is all good. And then 2 months later, they're sending lawyers at you like, oh, no, you can't. Like, they just treat you like some criminal or something. So, what I've been thinking about doing is since it's their clients that is the problem, not their clients are my problem, but because it was work that I had gotten done through them because of their clientele. Um, I just don't use their clients. So I've had some ideas on what to do about it, and now that I was like, oh, okay, if I lose those files, I definitely don't want to lose them completely. So I was thinking about, not even though this Bayonetta study has taken so much time away from my original stuff. Um, Damn, this thing's out of ink now. Oh no, it's not. So even though this Bayonetta study's been taking up a lot of time, and I'm not gonna do this immediately, but I will be getting around to it. And once I get back to doing my original stuff, maybe I'll create a schedule of like, um, kind of breaking up my work a little bit better, where in case I get burnt out from working on my original characters for a bit, and I want to work on something else, I think what I'll do is do some graphic design stuff. That's kind of why I want to get the digital streams going, so that way, um, so yeah, once I get that going, I'll definitely try to like fit it into the schedule, and that won't be until I finish with this Bayonetta study and get back to my original stuff and do my original stuff for a while because I've been really aching to do that. And then once I get that going and I get the digital streams set up, uh, completed, I'll definitely I'll definitely like start doing that where I kind of go through some of my old designs and then just get rid of the clientele aspect of them and create my just make up logos of make believe companies at that point. That way, those designs are mine, but and the logos used on those designs are no longer my former employers. It's not their clientele anymore. So as long as it's not their clientele, they can't uh, sick their lawyers onto me anymore. And then I can finally update my graphic design portion of my website. I mean, because that's the whole point. Is I had like a really good graphic design website, or a graphic design page in my website, dedicated all that stuff, had my portfolio on there, and that's when they did that. That's when they were like, "Nah, you can't do that," and they were just really petty people. I mean, you want to say they had every right to do it? Of course they did. But when you have like when everything is all good, when you're like cool with people, and they're like, "Yeah, you can have a portfolio," and then immediately renege on that, that's just shady, and it's like worth not being employed under people like that anymore. You know what I mean? People are just two faced. You know what I mean? Like, what's the point of being cool and cordial and professional for all these companies and all these people, and you know, just for them to, I mean, essentially shit on you in the end. I probably should do these things one square at a time. I was just thinking about it. Like, I'm gonna have to, when I edit this and I create the highlights and all that stuff and create these videos, I'm actually gonna have to include these two in a single video since I'm working on them simultaneously. I should just do them one at a time. So that way I could divide each square into its own study. I'll just have to figure that out. So in order to immortalize those things and get my graphic design portion of my website back, I could just put up all those designs without the actual um, but just the designs of them. I can't use the photographs of the actual product that we made, the vehicle wrap, so I can't put the actual pictures of the vehicles. I mean, unless I like do some deep fake sort of editing to the photography with the new logos that I designed. Oh man, they are small, huh? I was wondering about that if I should bring the camera in to do it. You know what I mean? To zoom in on these things. I used to run into a problem where my pens would hit the armature holding up the camera, so then the camera would rock all the time. But yeah, you're right. They are a little bit small. I mean, they're meant to be small because I'm trying to go through them quickly. Like I was doing these larger designs that you can clearly see uh, from like a distance. Um, but yeah, for these other designs, like I don't really need to do that. Um, so yeah, it's kind of like I wonder if I can. I mean, I could just play with the armature real quick because I agree that it is kind of small. It's kind of crappy, right? So let's see. Hold on. Let me see if I can move it in for you. Uh, I don't think I could do anything about this wire. Okay. Cool. Yeah, thanks, Clown. Clown Cadaver. That's a dope ass name, actually. So yeah, I got a pretty cool armature, and you know what? You're right. I just hope this. Now that I have my this whole new setup, my armature is on the other side. Because I draw with this hand, and my armature used to be here on this side. So I would like constantly bump it with the brushes, and yeah, it became a problem. But now that I have it over here, and I'm drawing over here, maybe I'll never bump into it. So I hope that works. Uh, and then yeah, maybe when I work on the bigger pieces, I can zoom it out, work on these, zoom it in. But I think this is cool. You get the setup, so that way you can see the three across. And yeah, I just wonder how it's gonna work when I get to the lower part of the page, if it's actually gonna be able to fit or not. But hey, we'll rock and roll with this for now, right? Yeah, man. So thanks for the suggestion, because I was thinking about that. I was wondering because I when I got these cameras, I was like, all right, they flip flop between 1080 and 720. So I was like, I wonder, because they're definitely better than my last camera. I was like, I wonder if they're gonna be able to see the little drawings from that far away. So thank you. I mean, this is probably the best I'll be able to do for it. And I hope that my hand moving across the screen this closely doesn't really mess with the focus too much. Yeah, thanks, man. I mean, this is just a simple brush set. There's not that many colors to it. I mean, there's plenty to them. I think what is it, like 16 colors or something like that? Maybe 18 colors. But yeah, I got a ton of markers since these are just sketches. I I'm not too worried about like kind of getting everything. But I'll do watercolor painting sometimes, and then obviously with all the blending, it gets crazy. I got all these gray tone and skin tone markers now, so I can get a lot of variety there. Uh, but yeah, let me see if I can pull this up. Let me, because these are all studies, so the studies, they're sketches, but like these are some of my original character. Like I was working on some original character stuff, and you can see like the blending. There's a whole lot more blending and colors and everything like that going on. They're a lot more finished up and things like that. Um, so yeah, like this is kind of more my aim and things that I do with like the colors and markers and stuff. But that's from like a whole different marker pack than the ones that I'm using than these brushes. I figure I can get some good practice in with these brushes while working on this study. But thanks, man. I really dumb it down for these studies so that way when I revisit them, they're kind of easy. There we go. Let's get back to this. But yeah, man, how you doing, clown? Rocking, right? Yeah, thanks, man. Yeah, these are just sketches that I'm doing in a sketchbook for a study. It's a fashion design study, honestly. Bayonetta, the first video game, they hired a fashion designer to do all the concept artwork to develop her look and things like that. And she drew like a million pictures. And since she was a fashion design major, like it's all fashion design sketches, and there's so much clothing, and that's really what I wanted out of this was to get the clothing, all the clothing ideas that she had, and apply them, so that way I can learn how to do all that. So that way when I get back to working on my own characters, I can start drawing all the clothes and really breaking them down. Like that Cyclops character that I just pulled up. Uh, I did a whole gang of like body pictures. So those were the markers. But then like I have these. There we go. So I have sketches like this here that I did for them. And you can see like they're very similar to the ones that like the as far as like the size and everything. They're a little more rendered out in pencil. But like I did all this stuff for that character. So I was drawing like a lot of clothing and stuff like that, but I have 400 characters that I'm working on, and I have like a dozen female characters that I'm trying to work on next. So I'm like, let me do this Bayonetta study. Let me get some like clothing, girls, fashion, that way I don't draw 12 of the same girl. I could draw like a bunch of I actually have like the study and the practice in on drawing hundreds of or dozens at least of like female clothing and how to make it all work and things like that. So yeah, man, welcome to the channel. This is what I be doing. Do you draw also? You an artist? Yeah, trying to figure out how to draw. What is that, male anatomy? Yeah, look up Andrew Loomis. Andrew, just like my name, Andrew, and then Loomis, Loomis. Uh, Look up his anatomy stuff. Uh, a lot of people, a lot of people look at it and study him to kind of get a good footing on anatomy, and then stuff like that. Like a lot of comic book artists do it and things like that. He's really cool. Male hands. Well, luckily I just you know I have my own hands. I just draw right there. He also has a book on hands, like the head and hands specifically. Do I have them? Yeah, I got the book right here. Hold on, give me a second. Yeah, so when I was in college, I drew a whole bunch of, or I studied his original book, and this is the one that kind of goes over just typical anatomy. Hold on, let me do this, man. I'm still getting used to this new setup, so I could switch this real quick. There we go. Put the art on hold for a second. So we have Figure Drawing for All It's Worth by Andrew Loomis, and he goes into anatomy on this kind of. I mean, he really breaks down everything. So, the difference between men and women. And you can find like downloads of this book out there. I don't even think it's illegal, honestly. I think there's like you could just get it. I just bought the book because I just like getting the books. But that's for anatomy. He has another book. He has a few of them. But yeah, drawing the head and hands, and yeah, same thing. Focuses on all the tiny muscles in the skull and the head and stuff like that, and then just like breaks down hand stuff, like how you would break down a head, all that other stuff. So check out Andrew Loomis. I mean, he has a ton of stuff as far as like breaking down all of it, all the anatomy and all the foreshortening and perspective, and you know the difference between like the feminine and masculine figures, things, all that stuff. Definitely check them out. Let me see if I can type that in. There we go. Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah. Everyone's familiar with him, and like I said, he's got like a four books. So yeah, he has a ton of content. Yeah, just keep doing that. Keep practicing, and then just keep drawing it. Keep breaking it down, and until you can just get comfortable with drawing it some sort of way. There we go. Oh yeah, just keep practicing. Yeah, I always look at women. Oh, let me switch this back. Like I said, I'm new to all this two camera setup thing. Perfect, man. Yeah, that's what I do. I just keep anytime a book hits me or someone suggests one, I just throw it on the wish list, and then, when the day comes when you're like, all right, I gotta buy something, or just pick it up. It's the way to go. Let me see what we got. There we go. There we go. Let's see. Still good? Yeah. Alright, not terrible. And yeah, as far as like the way that I chose the what colors to use for where, outside of like choosing the colors from the references here, I like decided to make the hair different from clothes, like so black hair from black clothes, things like that. Um, I just chose to use blue as the lighter tones for the black, just because I'm a huge Spawn fan. Spawn, from the comic books, Todd McFarlane, Image Comics, and yeah, my all my favorite Spawn images. His black suit. Ah, shit. There we go. There we go. Yeah, his suit would be black, but the lighter tones would be kind of like blue, teal, all that stuff, and like all classic comic books had that same motif. So that's kind of how I decided to break these colors down, since I had, only X amount of colors to use. There we go. All right. So let's see. Let's get this done. Is it still full? All right. Yeah, let's see. All right, that's perfect. I can move this over, still be zoomed in. All right. So yeah, let's work on this next design.